You are invited to imagine, discover, and explore by taking part in STEAMfest 2021, an online event starting January 30th that is free and open to the public. Explore scores of engaging hands-on activities in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, including science experiments, art projects, building challenges, outdoor adventures, and live stream events. This year, online activities have been created by students, parents, teachers, and a range of sponsor organizations, including NASA, Google, several popular YouTube creators, businesses, and a number of community organizations. Join us in this family-friendly celebration by sharing on social media and with family, friends, and coworkers, sponsoring or creating activities, and of course, register your children to participate as STEAM explorers.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Lee. I'll be your host today for the Sonny the Bearded Dragon live stream. We're excited to get to bring Sonny to us. We've got quite a few people joining the stream. It's going to be exciting. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy this, and we'll get this started. So today we're going to talk about bearded dragons. Bearded dragons are lizards. They're a type of reptile. They're native to Australia, which some of you may have visited, but probably not many. But they're native to Australia, and they're quite interesting. They're very popular as pets here in the United States. I think that without further ado, I'm going to bring our star onto the stage. Hey, Sonny. Hey there. So we have here Sonny. He's a bearded dragon, as we've said. He's maybe 6 or 7 years old. We don't know exactly because he was a rescue lizard. As you can see, he's a pretty big lizard. He's almost 2 feet long. And I'm not sure if you can see, but he's quite wide also. He's a little bit excited because he just got brought from his habitat down here to the live stream area. Will you turn around and let everybody get a good look at you? If you can see Sonny, why don't you tell us about it in the chat? Now you can see Sonny has scales on his skin instead of hair, and he has lots of little spikes running down the sides, right here on his cheeks. Those spikes, they look sharp, but they're actually soft. He doesn't like me playing with them too much, but he'll let me pet him a little bit. He also has claws on his toes. We'll turn him around. He has a tail. There we go. We can see his tail. He wants to know why we're spinning him around. We'll bring him back around. There we go. You can see he has 2 eyes on the side. You can see his nose. And maybe we'll turn just a little bit. You can see right there where his ear is. Sonny's a very gentle bearded dragon. He he's a very gentle bearded dragon. They're very docile in captivity, especially if they're handled from when they're young. And today I'm going to actually share a few facts about bearded dragons. I should also mention that we had Lily Blakely on the live stream with us. I almost forgot to introduce her. Sonny is her pet. So we'll share a few interesting facts about bearded dragons. So there are 9 different species of bearded dragons, and the most common one, which is most common one for that's kept as a pet, is Ponga vaseptus, and that's what Sonny is a Ponga vaseptes.
We have a question. Sajan Patel would like to know how old Sonny is.
Sonny is 6 or 7 years old. We don't know exactly how old he is because he was a rescue. He had a previous owner who got tired of him, and we were fortunate enough to get to have him join our family. So Sonny is a golden variety, and that kind of makes sense given his color. But you'll find bearded dragons in a whole range of different colors, from reds, greens, blues. He's also considered a classic. He's got very rough, scaly skin. You'll find ones like leatherbacks, which are very smooth. And that's the result of all the different breeding that's been done. Bearded dragons are native. Oh, Sonny's going to go for a walk or a slide. Bearded dragons are native to Australia, but all of the bearded dragons that you see here in the United States, or really anywhere else in the world, were bred in captivity because in the 1960s, Australia banned the export of bearded dragons. So the only ones here in the U.S. are ones that were, bred as pets in captivity.
We have another question. What is their lifespan on average?
That's a good question. So bearded dragons in the wild, it's hard to say what their lifespan is, but in captivity as pets, they live maybe 10 years, sometimes as long as 15. So they live quite a long time. If you decide to get a bearded dragon, you've got to be ready to have him for a long time because he's going to be there. I think another interesting fact is you can find bearded dragons in every state in the United States except for one. And that state is Hawaii, where bearded dragons are illegal. Because if they got loose in the environment, they would be a threat to the indigenous or natural wildlife in Hawaii. Bearded dragons also like to climb trees. In Australia, they live in the arid parts of the country where it's quite dry. But there are trees and scrub and grasses and so forth. But they love to climb trees, and they'll sit in the trees. They'll sleep overnight in the trees. They love to sit on fence posts and watch traffic go by. Oh, so our chat moderator just waved at Sonny, and he's coming to her. The lizard has left the building. There we go. Sonny is back. I think Sonny is getting hungry. So, does anybody know what bearded dragons eat? So bearded dragons are omnivores, which means that they'll eat just about anything. Sonny will eat lettuce and blackberries and blueberries and carrots and squash. And he'll also eat crickets and mealworms and any bug that he can get a hold of. And careful, Sonny. He's seen something that he's interested in. So let's bring. We're just going to help Sonny come back over here. Now, I said that Sonny will eat crickets and grasshoppers and different kinds of bugs. And he has volunteered to have a snack for us today. So we're going to watch. Now, watch closely because he won't give this grasshopper much time. There he goes. Did y'all see that? He just chomped that right down, except he left a little bit of the tail. Sometimes that happens. He'll leave the tail or the head hanging out of his mouth, and it'll end up on the table.
We have another very good question. What kind of exercise does he need? And then also he says hamsters have wheels and dogs go on walks or runs. So what about bearded dragons?
That's another good question. So bearded dragons do need exercise. Sonny probably needs more exercise than he gets. But for exercise, you can actually take your bearded dragon for a walk. They make leashes for him, just like you'd have a leash for your dog. It's a little collar that fits around his body, and you can take him for a walk outside. Sonny actually likes that. He likes to go outside and sit and watch the birds and check out the trees and the grass.
We have another question. This comes from Sarah. My daughter would like to know if Sonny has teeth.
Sonny, will you open up? I don't know if he will open his mouth long enough for us to see, but Sonny does have a row of teeth. They're not real sharp. They're small little teeth, but he does have them, and that's what he's using to chew up that cricket.
Very strong jaws too.
And you can see too, he's got a very big tongue. And he sticks that out and uses it to grab a hold of the food. Turn that light off. We're going to try turning this light off just to see if we get a little less glare on him. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Can you see him better now? So yes, he does have teeth. He doesn't want to bite you, and he won't bite normally unless he gets your fingers confused for food, which that's happened on occasion, hasn't it, Lily?
Just once.
Just once, yeah. But especially since he's gotten older, he's not really.
He was a bit traumatized from the first time.
Yeah, we can't decide who was more scared, Lily or Sonny, when she got a hold of her finger. There's a little grasshopper leg. You might like that.
So can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
Lily, how old were you when you received Sonny?
10, I believe.
Do you think that was a good age to own a bearded dragon?
I think if you're mature enough to have them and take care of them, yeah.
So we'll put a few other things out there that Sonny might want to eat. We've got some dried crickets and some mealworms, and he's looking at those, thinking about it. Do we have any other questions that you'd like to ask? While we're waiting for some questions, a question that comes up a lot is do they make good pets? And that's a tough question. They make good pets in some ways, and in some ways they're tough to have as pets. They live a long time. They're easy to feed and take care of, but they are a lot of responsibility. He's thinking about it.
Okay, we have a question. How much do they sleep? Do they sleep all night?
Sonny does sleep at night. He is active during the day. He oh, there he goes. So he sleeps all night, and during the day he'll sleep, 4 or 5 hours during the day also. He doesn't have a job, so he doesn't have to go to work or go to school or anything. So he likes to take naps. Bearded dragons are another way that they're unusual is they see in color. So he can see in color similar to the way that we see. He likes to, I don't know if I'd say likes. He's willing to watch television, and he likes the noise and the pictures on the television screen. I was going to say that if you show him a picture of another lizard on your cell phone or on a computer screen, then he gets very excited by that.
And we have another question. Sarah's daughter, again, would like to know if Sonny sheds like a snake since he has scales.
Another good question, Sarah. Sonny does shed. Once or twice a year, he'll shed his skin. It tends to come off in patches or sections.
Are we still recording?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're still on.
Okay.
Sorry, we thought the stream might have dropped there for a moment. So in case we didn't get that, Sonny does shed once or twice a year, and the skin comes off in different sections across his body.
And we have another question. Does Sonny stay in a cage, or does he walk around freely at your home?
He would like to walk around freely, but we can't let him do that all the time. So he has a large aquarium. Terrarium. Thank you, Lily. He has a large terrarium that he lives in. I guess it's about a 50-gallon tank. Yeah, correction. It's a 75-gallon tank. So he has a pretty big space. He has a tree in there, and he will climb the tree during the day and sit and watch. He's near a window, so we can watch outside and see everything that's going on. And we had him earlier sitting on his log, which sometimes he'll sit on top of the log and bask in the sun, and sometimes he'll crawl under the log and just kind of hide out there by himself, just depending on what mood he's in. Sometimes he likes to march around this cage and make sure that everybody knows that it's his place and nobody else's. And that really brings us to one of our other interesting facts. Bearded dragons are territorial. They out in the wild, they choose their territory, and they maintain it and prevent other bearded dragons and other lizards from living in that area. So they prefer to live alone, don't you, Sonny?
Maybe you could talk about what else he has in his terrarium that he needs.
Want the light? Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Our moderator is asking great questions. Sonny has 3 lights on his home. He has a basking light, which is a very bright, very warm light that is meant to be like the sun. And then he has a night light, which doesn't put out much light, but it keeps him warm at night. And then he has a UVB light. And that UVB light puts out a special spectrum of sunlight that he needs to be healthy. So he has 3 lights on his cage. What else does he have? He has a big water bowl, and he has some rocks and a plant. That's about it.
I think you've covered the light, which was another question that we had. Since he is cold-blooded, he does need a heat lamp.
Okay.
But a follow-up to that, do you have to keep your house really warm?
No, we don't have to keep the house warm. His basking light during the day and his heat lamp during the night keep his enclosure plenty warm for him. And we have he has a temperature gradient, a difference in temperature between the different ends of his enclosure. So if he wants to get warm, he'll go over and climb up on his log and sit right under his basking lamp. If he's feeling that that's too warm, he'll go to the other end of his enclosure where it's not as warm.
We have another question. Do bearded dragons know how to swim? Do they like to swim?
Ah, now that's a good question. They do know how to swim. And he gets a bath every week or so. Where are you going? He gets a bath every week or so. He's really funny when you put him in the bathtub. So they do know how to swim. I'm not sure how much he likes it. I think he likes it less than a dog and more than a cat. We do have to be careful with him. He doesn't go underwater. He just walks around with the water up to like his shoulders. We don't want to get water in his ears and have him have problems with infections or something like that. So we talked about some of his what he eats. We should probably talk about some of the interesting things that bearded dragons do. They like to communicate with other bearded dragons. And they do this. Maybe Sonny will turn around. They do this by bobbing their head. And he probably won't do it for us here because he's getting a little bit excited now. But they'll bob their head up and down, and that's a sign to other bearded dragons that he thinks he's the dominant one or the one who's in charge. So they'll bob their heads. They have another behavior which you'll see them do sometimes. They'll wave their arm. They'll stick their arm out and wave it in a circle. And that's believed with bearded dragons to be something called a species recognition. So one bearded dragon will see another bearded dragon and will wave at it to say, hey, I'm a bearded dragon, just like you. So bobbing their heads, waving. And let's see, we should also mention that bearded dragons lay eggs. Sonny doesn't lay eggs. He's a boy dragon. But bearded dragons lay eggs. They lay as many as 20 to 30 eggs at a time. And they often end up with as many as 15 little baby bearded dragons out of each clutch. Ah, yes. Lily just mentioned another behavior that we should talk about, and that's called blackbearding. Or, the question is, why is he called a bearded dragon? If he'll cooperate, maybe we can There we go. You see, he's got a lot of, he's got quite a bit of skin underneath his chin here. And if he gets excited, either if he wants to scare you, he'll inflate that a little bit and it'll have a real dark color. And that's called blackbearding. He uses that to try to scare away other animals or to show to other bearded dragons that he's the biggest and the strongest. He's kind of funny right now because the table's very slick, so he can't get a hold of it to walk around, which is to our advantage because bearded dragons can run up to 10 kilometers an hour in speed, so he can run quite fast. And not only will he run on all fours, but he can raise up and run on his two back legs. Yes. So it's kind of good that he can't get any purchase on our table here because he could just run off before we knew it.
We have another question.
Yeah.
Do they take care of their babies?
So that's a good question. The mother bearded dragon will take care of the clutch of eggs and protect it until they hatch. The hatchlings grow up on their own, but while they're still in the eggs, the mother protects them. Let's see. Oh, we should mention bearded dragons are also venomous. They produce a mild toxin. They have venom glands, and they use it to discourage other animals who might want to try to bite them. It's not harmful to people, but to birds and dogs and that sort of thing, it's a deterrent. So we should mention. Can you turn Sonny around?
Go ahead. I was just gonna say he's poisonous, not venomous.
Okay. I'll let Lily explain that.
I'm saying that too.
So no. So if you look at Sonny, you see his eyes are on the side. And this, you may or may not know this, but animals that are prey, that are eaten by other animals, frequently have their eyes on the side so they can see as far around themselves as possible. Sonny, with his eyes, he can see all the way around, almost the entire direction or entire circle around himself. So Sonny is a prey animal. Predators, animals who eat other animals, usually have their eyes towards the front. Like Lily, can you name a predator that has their eyes towards the front?
Lion.
How about lions? Yeah. Bears. How about birds of prey like hawks? And so predators have their eyes to the front so they can get the best depth perception and accuracy in their hunting. So Sonny, who would prey on such a cute little lizard? Well, Sonny has to worry about other lizards, and he also has to worry about birds like hawks, who would love to have a tasty Sonny meal. And down in Australia, he has to worry about dingoes. Do you know what a dingo is? A dingo is kind of like a dog in the Australian outback. So Sonny has to be careful with the predators.
They're not poisonous. They are venomous. The reason being, it's not just a secretion; it's a paralytic.
So we have a fact check there. Bearded dragons are venomous. Confirmed. All right. So if Sonny is making an escape. So we're gonna wrap up here shortly because Sonny's getting yeah. Now So we'll mention one other adaptation. Sonny has a photosensitive spot on the top of his head, a light sensitive spot. So when something flies over and blocks the light on that spot, it alerts him to the fact that there's something above him. And that's very useful when you don't want to be eaten by birds. So Sonny is getting restless.
And we do have a thank you for sharing. We appreciate your questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to thank everybody for joining us for this live stream. We'll answer a few more questions if anybody else has them once Sonny makes his way out. I want to remind everybody that SteamFest, which you can visit at wsteamfest.org, we have over 100 free and fun hands-on activities in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Anybody K through 12 can register, do activities, log them in your journal, earn badges and prizes. We also want to remind you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate your support in that. And if you, for watching today's live stream, if you go to SteamFest and log it in your journal, then you'll be entered in the daily prize drawings. Also want to thank Lily Blakely here for bringing Sonny to this live stream. And our moderator is Shannon Blakely. Do we have any final questions?
We do not.
We
Just
do not.
that thank you for sharing, and that Sonny is cute.
I think that's great. Sonny is cute. Well, everybody have a good day, and we'll look forward to seeing you at SteamFest.
You are invited to imagine, discover, and explore by taking part in SteamFest 2021, an online event starting January 30th that is free and open to the public. Explore scores of engaging hands-on activities in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, including science experiments, art projects, building challenges, outdoor adventures, and live stream events. This year, online activities have been created by students, parents, teachers, and a range of sponsors.